We got a little dog laying here. It's time to shop my stash. So this is my current everyday makeup drawer. So here I have mostly Project Pan items, and the rest of this drawer is items from my Shop My Stash or items that have just landed in the everyday makeup drawer that need to be put away. So I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on with these. I'm gonna do a end of the year / holiday time Shop My Stash. I usually do these seasonally. I may do another one in January with products that I want to use into like the latter part of winter. But for now, I want to focus on makeup that I want to use over the holidays. And I also need to pull any eyeshadow palettes out of my collection that I haven't used yet, because this is like the last month to use all of the eyeshadow palettes in my collection to finish up the challenge that I've been doing this year. So I'm going to start with putting all of these products away other than Project Pan items. Okay, so in the drawer left, I just have like Project Pan items. This one's not technically in the project, but I'm mixing it with this one because this one's too dark, and this is not in my Project Pan, but it's the powder that I'm currently using. This is a eye primer that I haven't tried yet, so I'm just leaving that in there for now as well. So time to fill this drawer back up, and first things first, these are the palettes that I'm going to be focusing on. So I just went through, don't mind this pile of clothes here, that's for another video. I just went through my eyeshadow palette challenge videos and checked to see which palettes I haven't used yet. And these are all the palettes that I still need to use in 2022 to have used each of my palettes once. So I put them on the desk here, and I'm just going to leave them here. And as I use them, I'll put them away. They won't like fit in the drawer to do it, like organize it that way. So I have, this is actually like a highlight duo from Fenty. This is the Killawatt Foil highlighter duo in 7 Day Weekend and Poolside. This I use as eyeshadow because it's this sort of like frosty, lilac-y kind of purple shade. So this is a really fun one that I wear more often in the winter time. So I want to give that one a use at least once. This is one of the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palettes. This is volume 3. I got this in a boxy charm. I actually use this all of the time, so it's not like I haven't used it, but I haven't featured a look with this palette in that series. So there's that one. This is my favorite palette in my collection. This is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. My husband gifted this to me for my birthday last year. It is so beautiful. I love it so much. This is very much like a me color story. So I knew I wanted to use this one, especially over the holidays. I don't have a lot of parties to go to, but there'll be a couple of occasions to get a little bit fancy. So I want to use that for those occasions for sure. I also have the Milani Gilded Desires palette. This one is long since discontinued, but these old Milani palettes in the gold packaging are so beautiful. So this is another one that I do like to use in the winter. This color here is broken, but it's just like a flesh toned color anyways, but the sparkly colors in this palette are really special. Then I have the Cab Cosmetics, what's this called? Day and Night eyeshadow palette. This one I do tend to do like a more pinky look, so we'll see. I'll probably try to do something a little bit different with this one for that challenge. That's kind of part of the point, is to try to do something different than what I normally do. I usually always use this pink down here. You can see I'm like getting hard pan in that color there. This isn't like the best palette in my collection, but I've got to use it. And then I've got the Colourpop and Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette. This is probably like my second favorite palette in my collection, next to the Natasha Denona Retro palette. This is a really beautiful one, and there's just so much you could do with this. And there's colors in here that I definitely have never touched, so that will be sort of my goal when I use this one, is to try some of those colors that I don't normally dip into. The other Colourpop palette that I have here is the Stone Cold Fox palette. This is another one that I like to use in the winter because it is so nice and cool toned. Again, there's colors in this palette that I have never used, so that will be my goal when I create some looks with this one, but I do really love this palette. I don't know that it's the usual like good Colourpop formula, but I do still like it. And then I've got this Storybook Cosmetics palette. This is like a fairy tale palette, the little Briar Rose one. This does have a broken eyeshadow in it, which is like one of the reasons I haven't opened this palette in so long, because it makes me so sad. So I may actually take some time and repress this shadow, because it's kind of like ruining the whole, oh my god, I'm making it worse. It's ruining the whole palette for me, to where I haven't used this palette since that shadow broke. It really upset me because I keep my palettes in a drawer. I really look after them. I don't understand how this one got broken. But anyways, I'm either going to repress that shadow or just like clear it out and clean this up so that I actually use the palette. But I do want to create a look with this and do something maybe like a frosty blue look or something. And then I have the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette, and it looks like this. So this is like an all metallic shadow palette. So I got this one. This was like holiday a few years ago anyways, but I haven't used this one either as part of my little challenge. So I do generally kind of stick to these more goldy colors in here. So we'll see what I create with this one, but those are all the palettes that I have to work with. And then over here, I have a box of products that I've received more recently in like BoxyCharm, Bade Box, things that I want to test out. So all of these things are going to end up in the everyday makeup drawer as well. So I went ahead and took those things all out of their little boxes so that I can put them into the everyday makeup drawer. I also opened the blinds, so hopefully you guys can see better. It's like awkward lighting in this room. So I have this little eyeshadow palette from Laritzy that I want to try out. This is like a really beautiful, just like everyday, there's more true to color there, color palette for me. So I want to definitely test that out. This is a primer that I got in, I think, a Babe box. It's the Sophia Maybell I Woke Up Like This Skin Perfecting Primer. This is more like a pore filling primer. And then I got this one in a BoxyCharm. This is their Tahitian Breakfast primer from Dew of the Gods. So I want to test that one out. This is a lip oil from Sophia Maybell that I got in a Babe box, in a BoxyCharm? In a Babe box. I can never remember anymore, but this is the Yuzu one. I've got a couple of lipsticks here. So I've got this one from Laritzy in the shade Wafer, which is like a nude. Like, why do they make them twist off? So it's just like a nude color. So I want to give that a test. I've also got this red one from Lord & Berry, which I think would be perfect for holiday time. I've got this sort of lip, it's more of a lip balm. It's like a tinted lip balm from Floss Beauty. It really doesn't show up as much, but I want to test it out. It's been sitting here waiting to be tested forever. And then I've got this lip gloss from Jessica Liebeskind, I don't know how I'm supposed to say that. I have this one. It's really pretty and sparkly and pink, and I did check, and this is cruelty free, so I was able to keep it. And I've got a liquid liner from the Beauty Crop here I want to test out. And then I've got this little palette from Ofra that I'm still testing and I am liking. So I'm going to put this in the everyday makeup drawer as well. I'm trying to think if there's any other like lip products that I want to pull out of here. I have a couple, I have a lip oil and a lip balm in my purse that are in the project pan. So I definitely have those sort of on my mind as like a focus. I can pair either of those with lip liners. I am going to pull this one from Bite Beauty because I think this will pair nicely with the Stone Cold Fox palette. That one is so cool toned. This is a really good cool toned lip color to pair with those types of looks. So I think I'll pull that one out. I haven't used that in a long time. And just a couple of other lippies here. So I am going to pull Stila Patina. Do you guys remember this one? Such a classic. Everybody had this. I heard somebody talking about it the other day and it made me want to bust it out. I just have the mini one here. And then I have Urban Decay Hitchhike, which is like a warmer, almost brick shade, which pairs really nicely with more like warm toned looks. I haven't used this one yet this year and it is a favorite. I loved that Urban Decay Comfort Matte formula, was my absolute favorite. I haven't tried any of their new ones, but I'll pull that one out just to give me some variety. Down here I've got blushes, bronzers, and highlights. So I have the bronzer in the little Ofra palette. I think otherwise I'm just going to pull this Iconic London palette. This was gifted to me by one of you guys, and this is actually like a little cream palette. So I think I'm going to pull this to pair with my cream blushes, like when I'm in the mood for a cream formula, and then if I'm in the mood for the powder formula, I'll do the Ofra one. And I think I'm also going to pull this LYS one. I haven't used this in forever, and I was thinking about it the other day, like, why haven't I used this? I have it in the shade Harmony. It might be like a little bit deep for me for this time of year, but it is a really nice tone. It's a little bit more neutral than some of the other bronzers that I have, so I'm going to pull that one out. For blushes, I think I'm gonna pull out this Arbonne one. This was gifted to me by a client, I think, but it's in the shade Poinsettia, and it's one of those like deeper berry colors. It really gives that like aspen cheeks, like cold weather type of flush to the skin. I think I'm also gonna take the Seraphine Botanicals Primrose and Cream cheek palette. Again, this has some of those like red, more like cold weather shades that I really like for this time of year. And a lot of my blushes really pull more on the pink or peach side. So I think this will be really pretty for winter and holiday looks. For powder blushes, I think I'm going to pull these two. So I have this Lower East Side one. It's in the shade Skyline. It's a little bit more of a peachy shade. It's really beautiful on the cheeks. If I swatch it on my hand, it basically doesn't show up, but on the cheeks, it's really pretty. And then I have this TG one in Brilliance, which is very similar to NARS Orgasm, but it's a little bit more pink. And then actually, I think I'm going to pull one more. I'm going to grab the Pixie blush in the shade Beach Rose. This is more of a neutral tone, so that'll kind of give me like a cool tone, a warm tone, and a neutral powder blush. And then for highlight, I'm really focused on my Project Pan highlight. I've got the Mary Luminizer in there, so I don't think I'm going to pull any other powder highlights, but I think I will grab this Grande Glow plumping highlighter. It's really pretty. If I wanted like a liquid highlight, it's in the shade French Pearl, so it's a good like wintertime icy type of moment. So if I wanted like a liquid highlight or a cream highlight, this will be what I'll use. Down here I've got primers, foundations, concealers, and powders. So I do have concealers in my Project Pan, and I have primers already in the everyday makeup drawer, as you guys saw. I'm not going to pull any foundations right now because I am having to kind of mix to match my skin tone because I'm kind of in between shades right now, but I am mostly using this Physicians Formula one. I'm thinking about putting this in next year's project, spoiler alert, so I'm kind of trying to decide on that one. But like, this one's too dark for me right now. This one I could wear, but anyways, I'm not focusing on any specific foundations right now. I'm just giving myself a little bit of leeway while I'm still deciding what's going to go into next year's Project Pan. And I do have the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder up here already, so I'm kind of focused on that powder. These ones down here can just wait. This drawer has just become a nightmare, but it's mostly tools, mascaras, brows, so I just leave this one as is and grab what I need out of here as I go. This will be a project for the new year. I do need to do some reorganizing and possibly some decluttering, so we're gonna leave that. In here, I've got small eyeshadow palettes, I've got liquid shadows, and then I've got single eyeshadows here. So I am gonna grab the Ace Beaute Glimmer shadow in the shade French Vanilla. It's just this beautiful sparkly silver color. I'm also gonna grab this little one from Stila. This is like a really special sort of golden color. They don't make these anymore, but it's the vintage black gold one. So I'm gonna pull that for like holiday looks. And for liquid shadow, I'm going to grab this Stila one. This is in the shade Lilac Legend. I'm picturing this one with that Fenty duo. I think that could be really fun. And I do try to put a liquid shadow in every Shop My Stash because, as you can see, like, it's starting to dry up, right? These don't keep forever. So I try to make sure I'm always using them. And then the rest is basically palettes, which I've already gone through and pulled the ones that I want to use. So let me put everything into the drawer and see how it's looking. Okay, so over here I've got the eyeshadow palettes. I'm just leaving the Storeybook Cosmetics one out so I can do whatever I'm gonna do over there. And then here is my current everyday makeup drawer. So here's my Project Pan items as always. I've got the iconic London palette here, the Ofra and the Primrose, the LYS Cosmetics one there. I've put this eyeshadow palette in the drawer because I haven't tested it yet, where the rest I need to do like at least one look with. This one I need to fully test, so I want to make sure I use like every color in the palette. And then here I've got the little like single shadows and the liquid liner. In here I've got the liquid highlight, the powder blushes, and the one stick blush. Here I've got the primers that I want to use, and then here I've got all of the lippies. So everything fits really well. It's not over full. I can see everything that's in here. And I know this is like a lot to use over the holidays, but it is only like the 5th of December when I'm filming this. So, I mean, this is going to take me into Christmas and the New Year. And yeah, I think this is a good little selection, and I'll probably just do this again in January and swap things out again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what products you're planning to use for holiday makeup looks this year. I always love to chat with you guys in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon in another video. Bye.